What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Greenlit Gang TV. Appreciate you guys checking out the channel. So, I was getting a ton of feedback on my Texas Mexican Mafia video saying, dude, the big dogs, the big gang in Texas is Tango Blast. Like I've always said, I love having the discussion. I love having the conversation. I have no problem admitting with, hey, I didn't even see that. I've heard of the gang. Haven't done enough research on it yet. I did this time. So, much appreciated to everybody that reached out to me on the last video. It's because of you guys that I'm making this video. Check these clips out. Check these news stories out. Then we're going to come back and talk about it.
New at noon, we now have the mugshot of a suspected Tango Orion gang member accused of threatening rapper 6ix9ine this week. 35-year-old Adam Rodriguez facing terroristic threat charges. He was arrested yesterday afternoon. An airport police officer working traffic at San Antonio International Airport noticed a couple of cars with several men inside. As they passed the officer, he recognized Rodriguez as the man who recently posted a video on social media threatening 6ix9ine, who was scheduled to arrive at the airport for a concert here in town. They dropped off one passenger and then the officer called for cover. Police took that passenger into custody, then stopped one of the cars as it was leaving the airport. Rodriguez was booked for a threat, and two other people were booked on traffic warrants. No one was hurt.
The lifestyles are not everything that they're cracked up to be as it relates to a gang member.
Austin Police Lieutenant Doug Rice says hundreds of Austinites are like Allison, dealing drugs in our school system.
You know, they're very free-flowing throughout the city.
Tango Blast is a gang our state's top safety leaders say is among the most dangerous. In 2016, FBI agents, Austin Police, and state troopers arrested 15 gang members, all accused of distributing meth, some of them Tango Blast.
They originated in the prison system, the Texas prison system.
Hey, we're gonna head into Charlie.
That same year, KVUE News rode along with Austin Police to see how gangs work. A search discovered $700 in cash, a bag of marijuana, and no driver's license. Officers said the man had 73 charges filed against him.
Get out of my face.
This DPS.
But usually it's gang member on gang member. We just don't see random acts of violence by Tango Blast.
APD records show 456 documented Tango Blast members in Austin.
At what age does recruitment begin?
It could start as, you know, middle school. It could start,
Middle school?
yeah, I mean, we've seen, you know, middle schoolers, and sometimes it's right in their face on a daily basis. I mean, if they grow up in that neighborhood and there's a gang that's working or active in that neighborhood, then they see those people. You know, they see them on a daily basis. They hang out with them. They go to school with them.
It's usually pretty easy to make that choice.
Which is why Austin police officers warn students about the gang life in its gang resistance education and training program.
You don't know if this program did anything at all to prevent them from going into gang, or if they would have just resisted going into gang on their own. We like to think that that program is doing a great job. You know, we're giving those students options.
Allison left the gang when she went to college, but her troubles didn't end.
Spot in the Dallas Metroplex today, DPD and federal agents raided an area where violent criminals were hiding out. And our Rebecca Lopez was the only reporter there.
More than 400 federal agents and police officers raided multiple locations in the Fair Park area, including this apartment complex. This was part of a joint task force called Safer Streets.
Safe Streets Task Force here in Dallas identified an area of significant violence, gang-related violence, drug trafficking-related violence, and overall violent crime.
Authorities say the area, which is just down the street from the state fairgrounds, is one of the most dangerous in the Metroplex.
As we look at our ballistics, our NIBIN ballistic technology, and where we're tracing firearms to and where we're recovering shell casings and matching shootings, this was the hottest spot in the DFW Metroplex.
Dallas police say 10% of all homicides in Dallas happen in this sector. Chief Eddie Garcia says in recent years they've seen a huge increase in homicides and aggravated assaults like shootings. Take a look at these numbers. In 2018, there were 315 aggravated assaults. In 2019, there were 367. And in 2020, it jumped to 485. And the fear is the violent crime will only get worse in the summer months.
Dallas is bracing for a surge in violent crime this summer. I know we've all watched with some alarm as homicide rates spiked last year. Violence almost always spikes during the summer months, but the chaos and frustration surrounding the pandemic has only made things more unpredictable and more volatile.
While authorities did not give specifics about the arrests made today, multiple sources tell WFAA they made more than 20 arrests and are looking for other suspects involved in gangs, drugs, and possible homicides. Chief Garcia says what happened today will hopefully bring down violent crime.
The message today for the residents of Dallas is simple. The DPD is not alone in keeping our communities safe. The DPD is not alone in weeding the criminal element off of our streets. And the DPD is not alone in seeding our communities with hope.
Authorities say the operation started back in 2019, and they say this is a huge victory towards making Dallas neighborhoods safer.
A report by the Texas Department of Public Safety says there's about 100,000 gang members operating across the state. Channel 5's Taylor Winkle looked into the Texas Gang Threat Assessment. She joins us now with the findings.
This newly released report is an update on all the gang activity going on in the state of Texas. According to Governor Greg Abbott, it finds Texas must continue to aggressively combat gangs operating here. Take a look at this graph. It shows the threat levels posed by these gangs as a whole. The most dangerous factors topping the threat list are a gang's relationship with cartels and their transnational criminal activity, what they've got going on across the border. Other significant findings in the report include gangs' usage of social media to communicate and recruit new members. We've told you in the past to double check your child's social media accounts to make sure they're not falling into the wrong crowd. Reporting in the studio, Taylor Winkle, Channel 5.
The gang threat in Texas communities is not going away. That's one of the findings of a Department of Public Safety yearly report on gangs. Port Arthur police say they expect more gang activity as we approach summer. KFTM's Leslie Rangel traveled with investigators who say the only way to battle gangs is for the community to act as an extra pair of eyes.
You look at tags and you got to figure out what you're looking for. For example, Peak Avenue is directly north of us.
These Port Arthur police investigators study gang activity. They say in Port Arthur it's heavy along the east side.
You look at, they're telling us PAPD and DEA or a federal task force or federal agency has gotten one of their crew members.
The words written on this wall leave a message.
That it's not being unnoticed that we're putting some of their gang members in jail.
They say their success comes from interacting with the community. This building shows heavy gang signs.
It's really concerning. I mean, type of influence they have on the community and on the children within the community. I mean, they're out recruiting like they're like a university or something.
That same building belongs to this mother.
We paint them like, today, and for tomorrow, somebody paint it again.
She says it gets costly trying to cover it up.
The graffiti they doing, and I'm painting and painting again, and I'm tired, doing that, and spend my money.
It's not only the money, she also fears for her family.
Because we have kids, and this is a little bit scary, with kids, see like this, and we don't know what we can do to help.
Police say for the community, the answer is simple. See something, say something. In Port Arthur, Leslie Rangel, KFDM 6 News.
Port Arthur police advise anyone who sees suspicious activity in their neighborhood to report it immediately, no matter how minor it may seem. 2 weeks ago, police say they helped send a Port Arthur gang leader to jail.
And we're getting an update from the FBI speaking about yesterday's raid of what the neighbors are calling the wrong home in search of a gang member. Residents telling KTSM the agents and officers set off flash grenades in their home, broke windows, knocked down a fence and placed them in handcuffs, saying they were released after verifying their identities. FBI spokesperson sending a statement that the agency executed several search and arrest warrants, saying the FBI has probable cause to believe 34-year-old Joshua Moreno, a known Chuco Tango gang member, was living at the location. However, he was not at the residence at the time of these multiple searches. However, they did arrest one felon during this operation and seized weapons, cash, and illegal drugs. FBI are asking the public to call the number on your screen if you know about Moreno's whereabouts.
A spokesperson from the FBI says that local agents executed multiple search warrants and arrest warrants throughout El Paso County involving members of Chuco Tango gang. The FBI says they're looking for a known Chuco Tango gang member, Joshua Moreno, there he is pictured on the screen, who they say was not present at the home that was searched. The Bureau saying that while they were executing those search warrants, a convicted felon was arrested and that they confiscated a gun, drugs, ammunition, and cash. The FBI is asking the public for any information on Moreno's whereabouts, and they're asking you to call 915-832-5000.
Let's now give you